Right now, it is Wellness Wednesday right here on the show, and we are joined by Dr. Cecil Tim Popple and Joel Thibault, who Dr. Cecil is a medical doctor, and Joel is a personal trainer and sports nutritionist from Fitzone. So what we're getting into right now is they are going to teach us some office exercise tips for those who have a 9 to 5, for those who are behind their desk for 8 hours in a day. And so, Joel, please take it away from the beginning.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bear in mind that he is wearing office clothes.
Yes.
So he's not so flexible. He doesn't have so much room for flexibility because of his clothes. Now, there's a category of exercises called isometrics. Now, what isometrics mean is that you're going to perform exercises that involve no movement and no load. So you're not going to carry anything, you're not going to lift anything, you're not going to move any distance, but you're going to have your heart rate go up anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so typical example would be the plank. Everybody may have heard about the plank.
The plank?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me see this one.
So the plank, you can perform a plank.
So Cecil and Sarah are going to demonstrate for us what needs to be done in the
Cecil,
office.
can we do that here?
And yeah, definitely in front.
So Cecil will perform a plank. There are two variations of that.
Okay, let me move on.
Okay. He can perform an elbow plank where you have his elbows on the ground like he's going to do.
So he gets up from his desk
and
performs a plank. Okay.
Like that. Now what he has to do is to just maintain this position for a couple of seconds, maybe 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Now, as you can see, he's not moving. Okay, he's static, and he's not carrying any load. All he has is his body weight.
Right.
Okay, now, if you perform this maybe for 30 seconds, 4 times or 5 times, it looks easy, but he'll be panting by the time he gets up.
4 or 5 times, 30 seconds each time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Could we have the lady demonstrate? We can also do this in the office, right?
Sure.
You want to demonstrate that? Even in heels? Or should she take her heels off? Or, I mean...
It depends on how your office is like. If there's people around, and you want to stay like that, fine. But if you're in your own private space, and you can take off your shoes, that's also fine.
So do you want to try it on with heels or without heels?
Well, she can take them off, yeah. Okay, so you can just, when you have the time... Can you
demonstrate for us once more?
Sure.
Okay.
When you realize you have the time, and you don't necessarily have to wait for a specific time. Anytime you realize you have time on your hands, you can just perform something very quick. Okay, and then have your heart rate go higher, and then you burn fat.
Okay.
And
this
then
makes it easier.
Okay. Now,
as you realize, opening up the legs, right?
For stability, you can open up your legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so this is one typical example of an isometric exercise. He can perform it on his palms as well. Okay, so he can come up on his palms and stay on his palms.
Okay.
Okay. So you do either the palm plank or the elbow plank, depending on which works for you. Now, if you have a soft carpet like this, you can do an elbow plank because then you're not on hard floor.
Right.
But when you're on hard floor like cement
then you
like
have to do a palm.
You can do a palm plank.
Okay.
Yeah.
You care to demonstrate for us?
So let her try it and see. So she's doing the elbow plank now. Good.
Okay.
Good. She's doing the elbow plank now. It looks easy. When you're watching, it looks easy, but after a while, it gets challenging.
Because it's your entire body that you have,
that's hanging over there.
in this motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You notice her body starts shaking very soon.
After a while, she starts shaking.
Sarah, how do you
she
feel?
starts getting unstable. Exactly. That's just how it works. Okay. So by the time you're done with your 3rd or 4th set, your heart rate will be a bit high.
Okay.
Which is what you're looking for. But you sweat. No, okay, everyone is different, but you won't break sweat much by doing this. Okay, so...
Good job. Yeah.
That's one.
Okay.
Another isometric exercise you can do is called the isometric squat. Now, what you do is you get into a squat and you remain in a squat.
Okay.
Rather than keep coming up and down, you just go down as low as you can and you remain there.
For how many seconds?
30.
Okay.
I mean, everyone is different, but for beginners, you can even do 15, 20. Or if you want to find out where your level is at, you can just do it and keep a mental note of where you start getting tired.
Okay.
So if you realize at 30 seconds you start getting tired, then you can start from there. And you know that, okay, every time you perform it, you start from 30 seconds. Now, after a while, 30 seconds gets easy. You realize that at 30 seconds, you're not panting, you're not tired. Then you can top up with 5. And you keep progressing.
So in increments of 5 each time that it becomes easier.
Exactly. So you can perform this also for maybe 4 sets of 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's try and see.
Let's have Sarah try.
Good. Now let's try to have your feet flat on the ground. That's the thing about the squat.
You can open up a bit.
You need to learn to squat, Now don't force yourself to go too low. The moment your heels feel like getting off the ground, just stop there. Don't bother. Good. So she can stay like that for everyone's mobility is different. I mean, I went lower than this because obviously I practice more than she does.
Exactly.
But with time, yeah, you'll get.
But with
you get
time,
better.
she'll be able to go
Exactly.
down a bit lower
Exactly,
and stuff like
And
yeah.
like you said, our clothes will permit us to.
Our
That's
clothes
true.
also
This is not
hinder
going to
us.
permit
Yeah.
her
That's true.
to go that
Because she
low.
has on a skirt. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
then, because the clothes permit us with wearing a skirt, would you advise doing a squat in the office or no for women?
Well, like you said, depending on your clothes.
Okay.
So you're going to have to exercise according to what your clothes
What
will
you have
allow
on.
you to do.
Okay. So then,
Okay.
if we have on a skirt, then squats are pretty much out of the question.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Unless your skirt is very loose.
Okay.
Unless
yes,
your
then
skirt is
that's-
very loose.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So those are first two. Some of them are more complicated than the first two we did. There's also something we call the V-sit. Okay, now for the V-sit, you're going to have to sit on the ground, okay, and have your upper body tilted backwards like that, okay, and have support from your arms here. Then you lift your feet, okay.
That's advanced.
Well,
You can bend your knees if
you
you,
can
want
bend
to.
your knees to start
If you're a
with,
beginner.
Okay.
okay, but then as time goes on, you'll be able to lift,
Right.
and then you'll be able to go like that.
Right.
Okay, so for this, like I said in the beginning, it's advanced. It's not easy for everyone,
Right.
but you have to start.
So when we do the V-sit, how many seconds do we do it for a period of time?
Let's start from 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm punting. You don't
Yeah,
see, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
punting.
yeah, I can
okay, so let's
hear
start
it.
from 10 seconds.
So,
So you can go like that.
Okay.
Okay, and you realize that, okay, well, you can't poke him, but I can.
Yeah.
He has to hold his core tight. He has to brace
Your
his core.
core has to be
exactly,
tight.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you take in deep breaths in and
exactly.
out, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what's going to keep you there.
Okay.
Okay, that's what's
Okay.
going to keep you. So you can do this. You can do the elbow planks. You can do the power planks and the iso squat. Just these four can do a lot of good. All we need is the heart rate to go high. Exactly. We just need the heart rate to go high.
Okay. So now let's also go behind the desk too, though.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that sometimes we don't necessarily want to go
On the floor.
Yeah. So then
Okay.
behind, what can we really do?
Okay, a
behind the
common
desk?
body weight exercise people normally do with the push-ups.
Okay.
Now, so for desk version of push-ups, instead of going all the way down on the ground, you can just lean on the desk like that.
Okay.
Okay, you can lean on the desk and then do your push-ups onto the desk.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So you can just keep doing it for maybe 10, 15, 20, depending on how fit you are. But like I said in the beginning, you need to check where your level is.
Okay.
So start doing it and just make a mental note of the points where you start getting tired.
Okay.
So when you get to maybe 10 and you realize you're getting fatigued, then you know that, okay, your limit is 10.
Okay.
Then you stick to 10
Okay.
until 10 gets easy. Then you maybe go to 12 or 15.
Okay.
Okay, so for the desk push-ups, you can do maybe 15 reps.
Okay.
Reps is short form for repetitions. Okay, so you can do 15 until you're done.
Do you guys
Yeah.
care to demonstrate for us too,
Yeah,
or no?
15. Everyone can do.
for men who wear long sleeves, all you need to do is just fold your long sleeves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
Okay, so just step back. Good. And try and have
So a similar push-up is on the screen for those of you that may not have been able to
Try and
see
have your
Joelle
body
behind the desk.
slanted straight.
In the
Good.
meantime, we have
Good.
Sarah and Cecil trying to do push-ups. Sarah,
Okay. Good.
Sarah's face is just
Good. Like that. Good.
showcasing everything. No,
Good.
you're doing well.
So you can do a couple of these, maybe.
You're doing well. Keep going. You
10.
got it. You got it. Yes.
You can do 12, 15 reps. Okay.
Yes.
and then you're good to go for 4 sets or 5 sets.
Okay, 4 or
Yeah.
5. So for everything that you've shown us.
But for beginners, 3 is ideal.
Okay.
For beginners, 3 sets of everything is ideal. It's the
Okay.
safest place to start from. Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we leave, here's another one, okay? Because, again, 8 hours seated at the desk.
Yeah.
And then you jump into your car, and then you're stuck in traffic on
Traffic,
your way
yeah.
home. That's another 2 hours at
Exactly,
max, right?
exactly.
So, are there any exercises that we can do behind the car while we're stuck in traffic? And if so, please demonstrate for us so that, you know,
Okay.
it's also...
The best thing you can do in your car with regards to exercise and wellness is to do breathing exercises.
Okay.
Because in as much as they do not involve moving of your muscles, you can actually control and train your lungs.
Okay.
Now, the cardiovascular system is made of the heart and the lungs. Now, it's a whole system, okay? You do muscle work, you do cardio exercises, and the primary part of your body that gets affected by that exercise, all these things, is your muscles. The muscles is one. But then the cardio system, which is the heart and the lungs, is also one. Now, you should be able to work out your lungs without running. So now, if you find yourself in your car, driving, simple breathing exercises can help strengthen your lungs. So if you ask the swimmers, they do breathing exercises just to be able to swim. Okay. Now, you can take in very deep breaths. A lot of people can't take in deep breaths. They don't know it until you ask them to do it. You know, you need to like be able to inhale through your nostrils and hold it. If I ask you to hold it for 20 seconds, it's going to be a challenge.
I'm actually holding it too. I started to hold it.
So you can do breathing exercises. That's because you're limited to how much mobility you can do inside the car. In the car. Okay, so for me, I would say breathing exercises would be the best thing to do while you drive. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. It doesn't look like it helps a lot. I mean, no one considers it to be exercise, but it does help a lot.
What we're going to do is we have pictures on screen. So we want to go back to some of these. If you can just demonstrate, because we're back in the office now.
Yeah.
You can let us know. Is that possible to do? I mean, this is a photograph, but...
Well, yeah. The guy in the suit is doing the iso squats like we did. And then the woman in the blue blouse with her hands upwards.
It's a stretch, right?
She's stretching, yeah. And then the other woman in the suit is also stretching. But you see, we need to understand stretching is also part of exercise.
It's important, isn't it?
It's very important. So when you find yourself in a place and you feel you cannot do any exercise, if you can stretch, just stretch.
So then even going back to the car, because we're in a confined space, we can still stretch, right?
You can stretch.
What kind of stretches can we do in the car?
So in a car, Tim, what kind of stretches can you do in a car? Okay, you can stretch your triceps.
Okay. Because obviously you're on the steering wheel for a long period. But you have to be in park though, right?
If you're in traffic.
If you're in traffic.
You can just put your car in park.
The light is red. You can just, you can just stretch. And then the other way for biceps. You can do that.
And then can we do the same thing to our feet also in the car as we have on screen?
Feet.
If you're not wearing your shoes, fine. But if you get caught by the police, that's another problem.
But in the office you can do this,
in the office you can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even in the car, you can, it's not that high. So I doubt you can raise it
but
that
you can
high.
Just do it.
You can just do this.
But at least just in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the arm ones,
you just do this.
Okay.
Stretching is important.
Okay. It definitely is. So before we do these office exercises, we should stretch. Or...
Not exactly.
Okay.
You know, the thing about stretching is you're going to stretch your muscles. Now, if your muscles are cold, if your core temperature is low, and your body temperature is also low, that means your muscles are cold. You can't just stretch cold muscles. It's not safe.
So you have to warm up the body.
Move. Do some movement.
Okay. So walk in your office up and down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then after you walk, what's the next step?
You begin to feel loosened up.
Okay.
Okay. I personally, I don't stretch when I get out of bed. That's one thing I don't do. You know, most of us are used to waking up, and the first thing we do is stretch. I don't like to do that.
I do that.
You do realize you do it, and sometimes you get dizzy.
No, because I just do it for a while, and then I'm like, it's 4 a.m. Should I get up or should I not? So.
Well, for me, I'd wake up and then I walk about for a bit. Well, and then again, I do cardio in the mornings anyway, so I'll just go out the house and then do my cardio, and then after that I stretch.
Okay.
But it's important to do a little bit of activity, no matter how low level or low intensity it is. You need to do something before you stretch your muscles.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Any final words from Fitzone as into why we should all be a part of, the group?
Before I go on that, I was going to say something about sitting for a long time. Yes, apart from doing the exercises, you should always make a conscious effort to sit upright.
I have a bad
We almost
habit
always
like
sit like this.
Slouch. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
You should always sit like this.
Okay.
Even if you don't have a backrest, you should always be able to sit like this automatically.
Yeah.
So you always make a conscious effort to sit like this. Because if you end up sitting like this, there's so much tension here.
Yeah.
Then you start getting back pain.
Yeah.
That's when then the stretch comes in.
Yeah.
So then it corrects the problem. Yes. And if another way to correct the problem and the sitting problem is to, this is not too flexible, but I'll still try it. You take a step forward, then you go down, and then you raise your hand.
Good. Okay, so this is to correct the
back. So there's a muscle inside our abdomen called the hip flexors. Yeah, they are at the back. So they are inside at the back, and they connect to your hip, the femur, the thigh bone.
Yeah.
So when we sit, they flex. When we stand, they extend. So that's what helps us sit and stand.
Okay.
When you sit every day, it's an isometric contraction, and it puts a lot of load. You are not carrying any load, but an isometric contraction puts a lot of load on your muscle. That's why some people sometimes even have a anterior pelvic tilt. So you see some women and like this. It's because it's tight.
Okay.
So you need to
loosen it.
Yes.
Loosen it.
So you can stand straight. And this exercise does that. It stretches the, so one leg out like this.
Like a lunge.
So it stretches the muscle.
Okay.
And then you switch, and then it stretches the side too. With your arms up, it gives a better stretch.
Okay. All right. Thank
So
you
you do
guys.
that in between like a few hours of sitting. So maybe an hour of sitting, then you do that. So another hour of sitting, you do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it helps back pain.
Okay.
Because a lot of people come to the hospital and complain of lower back pain.
Yeah.
And it's always because of sitting. And this is due to that isometric contraction. It puts so much load on your back and on your hip flexors. So over time, you see patients come and there's so much problem at the lower back when we do x-rays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you just demonstrate once again for us? Because it's so important that, for those who want to open up the hip flexor.
First, you step forward, then you go down as low as you can, and then hands up.
Okay.
You can even do this if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and you stay there for some time.
Then you switch.
And then you switch.
For about 30 seconds, right? Or...
As much as you can, as much as it's comfortable, because you can get tired.
Okay.
So you do the same for the other leg, and you stretch.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining us. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for demonstrating some of the exercises as well. All right.